Hey everyone, Gunny J here again. We're on the second principle of the way of the shepherd, and that is discovering the shape of your flock. Again, I got this really geared towards the young Marines, but every principle in here that I'm teaching applies to any type of business. Young Marines may be a non-profit organization, but it is still a business, a not-for-profit business, but it's still a business. In this part of the book, the mentor takes a mentee to a cattle auction. Now, the mentee's still not dressed right. He's getting manure all over his new penny loafers. But the crux of the lesson is, even at the cattle auction, the ranchers are inspecting the sheep and looking at the temperament of the sheep and how they're going to fit into the flock. We got to do the same thing when we bring in new RAs into our unit. We got to look at the shape of our sheep. How are they going to fit into the fold? And are they going to be a good fit? Are they going to augment our weaknesses? Or are they going to be a leadership challenge for us to deal with later on down the road? So we use the acronym SHAPE, S.H.A.P.E. And that stands for strengths, heart, attitude, personality, and experiences. So let's look at strengths. In my leadership video, the law of magnetism, and I'll have a link somewhere up in there. The law of magnetism in leadership simply states that who you are is who you attract. Well, that's great. Except if you attract a whole bunch of just you, that means they have the same skill set, the same strengths, but they also have the same weaknesses. So when we bring team members into our team in a unit or regiment, battalion, it doesn't matter, or at work, your direct reports and the team you build up to perform your work, you want to make sure, yes, they have the same value set and they have the same vision, but you want them to have strengths in different areas. You don't want them to be just like you. Otherwise, there's things that aren't going to get done. Bottom line is, if you have somebody that's working out of their strength zone, you're going to have one frustrated individual. Let's move on to heart. Where strengths are abilities, heart is passion. If you can put somebody in an area that they're passionate about, man, they'll hit the ground running. Then all you got to do is empower them. And I'll have a link to one of my leadership videos, the law of empowerment, so you can understand that better. But if you put them in an area that they're not passionate about, all you got is dead weight. They're not going to hit the ground running, and they're not going to be that productive. Now let's have a little bit of a hard conversation. And this is about mama bears and papa bears. Now, mama bears and papa bears, they're not bad people, but they're just looking after their own child. If you're going to be a registered adult in the Young Marines, you should put the same time in every child in that unit as you do your own child, if not more. So be careful you don't hire a mama bear or a papa bear, because all you're going to do is have heartache. It's going to be a leadership challenge, and the other kids are going to feel shortchanged. Let's look at the next one, attitude. Now, attitude. You only want positive, can-do people. Somebody with a negative attitude can suck the life right out of a company, and they make it more of a leadership challenge. I like using the analogy of apples. You can have a barrel, and it can have a whole bunch of good apples in it, but if you put a rotten apple in that barrel, the good apples don't turn the rotten apple good. The rotten apple infects the good apples, and pretty soon the whole barrel is rotten to the core. So attitude is imperative. Matter of fact, I'd rather have somebody with a good attitude than somebody with a good skill set. Next one is personality. Their personality has to reflect the culture. What job are they going to do? If it's repetitive and detail orientated, and you put somebody who is not detail orientated and doesn't like repetitive stuff, they're going to make a horrible adjutant or a horrible paymaster. It's not that the person's bad, that's just not part of their personality. Same thing with the UC. You put somebody who doesn't like being out in front, doesn't like dealing with people, doesn't have the emotional intelligence to deal with people, and you got problems. There's always going to be conflict between the parents and the UC. So you got to make sure that the right people with the right personalities are in the right jobs in order to make your team more effective. So we had so far strengths, heart, and attitude, and even personality. Let's look at experiences. Now on experiences, plural, what are their life experiences? I'll be upfront with you. A lot of times, people who have never been in the military make great registered adults. Even awesome UCs and sometimes battalion, regimental, and even division commanders. The military skill set can be taught, right? But the strengths, the heart, the attitude, the personality, those things are pretty much natural, inborn, hardwired things that can't be taught. So we have to look at their experiences and make sure those experiences will lend credit, will lend credence to what we're doing in the Young Marines. That they'll help the unit, right? Because the opposite is true. They can have great experiences. They could be a Marine of Marines. But if they don't have the skill set, they don't have the heart, they don't have the attitude, they don't have the personality to interact with the public, I see grievances coming out of that. I know Young Marines, and especially registered adults, even my position as a division commander, I know we're all volunteers. These are all unpaid positions, but that doesn't mean that good leadership principles and good business management should go out the door. Matter of fact, the opposite's true. We're a non-profit business. This is what we do. It should be run like a business. We should hire, if you want hire, RAs whose shape, S.H.A.P.E, fit our flock. That's what we should be after. So again, I thank you for your time and listening to this. We've covered 2 principles. I got 5 more to do over the next 5 weeks. I'll be posting them up to the division website. I'll also have a link to my YouTube channel down below. Feel free to go to the YouTube channel. I got leadership videos and other things in there to help us develop our leadership skills and some of our management skills. So again, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time. We'll see you on the flip side. Gunny J is out. If you test